Lots of excitement on the trail. Dueling political rallies tonight. GOP frontrunner Donald Trump taking the stage in front of a packed house in Burlington, Vermont. We are monitoring it for news. But right next door in Meredith, New Hampshire, home of the first primary, less than 1 month away, GOP presidential candidate Carly Fiorina just wrapping up a town hall and is now greeting voters. On the Record is monitoring the Trump event for news, and we'll bring you there live as it happens. But right now, one day after North Korea and its whimsical and brutal leader, Kim Jong-un, bragged he successfully tested a hydrogen bomb, Carly Fiorina is blaming Secretary Hillary Clinton. Just moments before taking the stage in New Hampshire, Carly Fiorina went on the record. Carly, thank you for joining us.
It's great to be with you, Greta.
Carly, big
Happy
news.
New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well. Big news about what's going on in North Korea and with the test of something. I guess most people have concluded it's not a hydrogen bomb, but nonetheless, an atomic bomb is very dangerous. We have not been able to deal with North Korea, whether it goes to the Clinton presidency, George W. Bush presidency, President Obama. You blame Hillary Clinton's failed policies. Why do you blame her, and what about the others?
Well, I think you're right. We've been trying to deal with North Korea for a very long time, and President Clinton's deal failed, and George W. Bush's approach failed, and President Obama's failed as well. But specifically what I lay at the feet of Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama is a failure to respond over and over again. So, for example, when North Korea attacked Sony Pictures, there was no response. In fact, the administration wouldn't even take the basic step of putting them back on the list of nations that sponsor terrorism. And when you refuse to respond over and over and over again to the provocation of China when they hacked into OPM, or the provocation of Iran launching 2 ballistic missile tests in direct violation of an agreement they just signed, or you refuse to respond to a terrorist attack in Benghazi, or the invasion of Ukraine, or the crossing of the red line by Bashar al-Assad, when you refuse to respond over and over and over again, then of course North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, says, well, I can do whatever I want because there will be no consequence.
All right. Okay. Well, with the exception, I think, of Benghazi and going over the red line, which is something that President Obama threatened, all those other incidents, I think that you laid out, if my memory is correct, are after Secretary Clinton was no longer Secretary of State. So I don't know if you can lay those at her feet or not.
Well, I don't think that's true of Ukraine. I don't think that's true of the Chinese OPM attack. I don't think it's true of Iran, for example, hacking into our dam infrastructure. And when you lie about a purposeful terrorist attack on Benghazi, instead of responding and retaliating, honestly, you send a signal. And the problem is that we have encouraged more bad behavior when we don't respond.
All right, I'll give you one that I think we missed, is the reset button. That was something that was clearly during the time that she was Secretary of State.
Yes,
all right.
And it clearly failed.
and I concede. I'm just trying to sort out, what is on her watch and what's not, because everyone has tended to collapse a lot of time as this race sort of goes on. All right. I don't know if you saw the dispute today, but Donald Trump, with the support, apparently, or at least I shouldn't say support, but Senator John McCain has also said that there is some legitimate issue about whether Senator Ted Cruz is eligible to be president because he was born in Alberta, Canada, and to an American mother and a Cuban father. Where do you fall in this discussion?
Well, I don't know all the particulars, but I would say this. I find it odd that Senator Ted Cruz did not renounce his dual Canadian citizenship until 2014, when it became clear he was running for president. And meaning what? Meaning that he wanted to be a Canadian until 2014? Is that what that means? Well, I don't know. I think you ought to ask him. But so clearly, there are both legal scholars and others who think this is perhaps a legitimate issue. My issue is that I think both Donald Trump and Ted Cruz are far too divisive as candidates to ever beat Hillary Clinton. I'm a conservative who can beat Hillary Clinton, who won't sacrifice our principles, but who explain our principles to the American people. I don't think you can have someone win who insults everyone routinely, and I also don't think you can win when you have someone like Senator Cruz who says one thing in the drawing rooms of Manhattan and another thing in the living rooms of Iowa. That's kind of what politicians do. They say what they need to say to get elected, and then they do whatever they please.
Carly, thank you for joining us. And I should add that you are in the state of New Hampshire tonight, and you have a big night in New Hampshire with a lot of work to do, a lot of work for all you guys. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yep, but we have big crowds all week here in New Hampshire as well.
And it's cold. All right, thank you, Carly.